right
Look
now.
at this motherfucker.
When you put these filters on, Mike, do you see it on your end or no?
No, I see it on my end. I
Oh,
was
okay.
saying when I was saying that was because I could only see the top of him. And I was like, oh, it was really more of a rhetorical question than a legitimate. I was inquiring if it was affecting him.
Fair enough. Mike knows it all. He has all the knowledge. He doesn't actually need our knowledge, but he wants to sometimes,
Just get you guys involved.
Exactly, yeah, make us feel included. I appreciate that, Mike. I appreciate it.
No problem.
So you were saying before we went live, we were talking a little bit about Overwatch 2 and how sad it's now that like Overwatch used to be our go-to game and now it's not. And I'll say this, I think I blame that on two things. One, I mean, at this point Overwatch is old, so it's, it makes sense for us to kind of fall away from it a little bit. But also, Todd's all about Fortnite, baby, so we get the four of us playing Fortnite. Like you can't. And the beautiful thing about Fortnite compared to Overwatch is that like Fortnite's just fucking hanging out. You know what I mean? We don't care if we win. We're not trying to do objectives. Like, well, we're trying to do missions, but it doesn't fucking matter. We can lose all night and have a good time. Like, it's just we're doing silly dances, having a good time. I'm not trying to say like Fortnite and Overwatch are the same thing because they're not. But
I will say that I probably have developed a bad habit of dancing every single time someone gets knocked down. So like, if I were to get back into Overwatch, I would probably dance anytime I like kill a person.
Oh,
just,
wow.
Just map it to your left analog stick.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
What was the line Todd always had?
Yeah.
Yes.
There was a May line too that he always spammed. I forget.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I think there's one for Diva too.
Yeah.
I forget what you had for Diva.
Fucking Todd.
Yeah, man. I don't even think twice about that game anymore. It's sad.
I love Overwatch. Like I still think about that game. I still would play it. Like if there was a night where like you guys were like, hey, let's play Overwatch, I would definitely hop on. It's still installed on my Xbox. I won't uninstall it. Like that's just kind of that's a game.
I chose to uninstall other things besides Overwatch the other night.
Same, yeah. Anytime I'm trying to make space on my Xbox, I always like Overwatch is just an untouchable. It's like there's like 3 untouchable things on my Xbox: Master Chief Collection, Halo 5, Overwatch. Halo 5 will probably go away when Infinite comes out, but for right now, it's there in case I want to play like SWAT or something, or just Halo multiplayer in general. But yeah. Oh, I'm going to science the heck out of this. Winky face, is that a diva emote?
Yeah.
I think that might be what Todd was doing. Yeah.
LOL, LOL, LOL.
I'm so mad.
My favorite when people on our team would be like, "Can whoever's playing May please stop saying sorry?"
Yeah. Yeah.
Good times.
Good times indeed. Oh, and that honestly, I might pop into Overwatch this week just because we're talking about it.
I think I will just I will look to see if Total Mayhem is in arcade, and I will try and get my loot boxes.
Fair enough. Well, anyways, we got a packed show tonight. We're trying to keep it tight to an hour, so let's get things going here. Welcome everyone to the Pass Control Podcast, a show where a couple of best friends talk about the latest in video games and nerd culture. Sometimes we have guests, sometimes we talk about Overwatch too much. Oh, I hadn't said that in so long. Either way, we have a new episode for you each and every week. As always, I'm your host, Brenden Groom, and joining me on this lovely Saturday evening, I had to think about what day it was, is the anime senpai himself. He's so money and he doesn't even fucking know it. Mr. Michael Desir. Mike, how are you doing this evening? Are you excited about this Cowboy Bebop live action on Netflix?
Yes. Like, I don't want to set it up for failure. I don't want to give it too high hopes. I think in terms of the only other thing I can think of off the top of my head that Netflix did a live action adaptation of already was Death Note, which, as I understand it, was so drastically different. I don't even want to call it like a real adaptation. I still need to watch it, but I am looking forward for it. I don't care for the erasure, but that's a topic for another day, I suppose.
The what?
There's a character that they like. You could argue as a main character that they have not shown in this at all yet, and it's weird that they're not there.
There may be a reason for that.
There may be a reason for it. I don't know.
They have to go save him.
That she does not appear.
Interesting. What do you think of the intro? The intro is pretty dope in my opinion.
The intro was pretty good. And again, it was like one of those things, and I do have to think about it more, in the sense that, like, for instance, let's see, this is more like a Dom question, I think, because I think Dom was the one that probably would have seen most of like the live action Disney things, and for instance, the Lion King live, quote unquote, live action, it was more or less a shot for shot remake, and that just kind of made it, technically it was impressive, but as a film it was just sort of like, okay, why did you do this? It's just the same movie.
Yeah, so Lion King I felt that way with. Jungle Book I felt a little less that way with, probably because they brought in such like an impressive voice cast, and not that Lion King didn't, but and they had Christopher Walken sing a song for some reason. So
Yeah.
I mean, whenever you got Christopher Walken singing a song, and then Beauty and the Beast was actually like good. Like I actually enjoyed that one.
I feel like I heard good
So
about Beauty and the Beast. I didn't see
yeah,
it, so I can't speak.
but again, that was the first of that wave of those live action adaptations. So
Yeah. But anyway, I only brought that up because when they were doing this live action Cowboy Bebop, I thought to myself, like, you know, Tank is iconic. How do you do that? And they basically just recreated it. It's definitely different. You should watch them both side by side and see what they changed. But yeah, it was cool.
I mean, the intro was a shot for shot remake, right?
It's parts of it, yes, but parts of it, no.
Okay.
It's definitely the same song.
I mean, I definitely recognized like a lot of the.
Yes. A lot of it is like a shot for shot, but a lot of it also isn't.
Yeah.
It might be 50-50. Because basically the intro, the original intro, either had shots of the main cast or like just shots of, you know, vehicles or guns or whatever. Whereas this one showed a lot of other characters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's all I got. You can carry on.
All right.
Before we move off anime,
Ooh.
Mike, did you watch any of Visions yet?
I watched the first 3.
All
Wait,
right,
the whole
I
thing's
still-
on?
Yeah, they
Yes.
released
Oh,
all of Star Wars Visions on
That's cool.
Wednesday.
What
What have you thought so far?
It is still pretty good. Like I said, I only watched the first 3, so like that first one, the duel was, you know, badass. I thought the second one, I forget what it's called, but I thought it was like really charming. Like I enjoyed that one.
Is that the one with the robot?
It's the one where they're the band.
Oh, okay. I still haven't watched any of them, so.
Okay, the second one's the one where it's basically like they're just a band and they want to make it big.
Okay.
And it's the one that has Jabba the Hutt and Boba in it.
Okay.
Out of the 3, it's the only one that's actually made reference to canonical characters.
Okay.
And then the third one is the twins. So, Brenden, did you watch any of it yet?
I have not watched any of it yet.
Okay.
I've been too busy to even really like. Us playing Fortnite today is like one of the few times this week I've played video games. I've just been fucking very busy.
Is the twins the one that's about clones? It's about 2 girl clones.
No, it's a boy and a girl. They're like they were. I think they mentioned something about like their creation, like their dark side. I don't know, whatever. But when I asked Brenden about that, it's the Studio Trigger one. So like it's the one that looks like it's like Premiere.
Yeah, that is the episode I'm most excited for, just because I love that animation style. But I think like I don't know, I'm pretty hyped up for Visions. I hope that they continue to let more like creators in that space play around in that universe, because I think just again from like the stuff we've seen in the trailers, it just looks so gorgeous, and I just want more of that.
Yeah,
I'm so behind on TV in general.
I know. I was thinking that the other day.
Oh, I've still only watched the first episode of What If.
I was gonna say I haven't watched What If. I haven't watched Rick and Morty. I haven't watched the Star because I do want to watch these Star Wars Vision things. Yeah, I haven't watched anything. I haven't watched Ted Lasso.
Doom Patrol came back last week, and I realized that I am a season behind on Titans. So I can't even. I can, but I want to
Any
watch
free time I
Titans
spend
before I
video
get back to
games.
Doom Patrol.
Yeah, I just spend my time on video games if I have free time. So then
Yeah.
by the time I watch TV, I fall asleep.
I do need to watch Titans. I watched a couple episodes of this current season, maybe like 1 or 2.
But you didn't watch the first 2 seasons?
No, I didn't watch the first because I was watching with somebody else and
Yeah.
they already like through it.
Yeah.
But anyway, what I was gonna say was after I finish Visions, I think I need to rewatch the Animatrix. I feel like I haven't revisited that in a long time, and I think it's like a similar sort of thing, except
Is it on HBO Max?
I don't know. I should check. I have the DVD. I
know
feel
you
as though the Animatrix was actually all canonical. I have to double check that. I think there's a few of the shorts in that movie or that thing.
Yeah.
I remember a few of them actually being canonical. I don't know if the entire thing was. But
Didn't one of them lead into the game?
I think so. Yeah, I was obsessed with those games back in the day.
I know 2 of them were like legitimately like the history of the Matrix, like how humanity fell to the robots. I know. Oh yeah, you know what? One of them I think was directly connected to the GameCube game. I say GameCube.
I thought so. Yeah.
Enter the Matrix.
Yeah. Enter the
And
Matrix.
One of them, Dom, you did not watch the second 2 films, did you?
I definitely watched the second one. I definitely didn't watch the third one, even though I literally borrowed it for like 2 years.
Yes, you had it for a long time.
Yeah.
I know there's a character in maybe both of them, but I know he was in the third one. He must have been the second one. There's a character that like is like a fucking super Neo fanboy. I think he has a more prominent role in the third one, but he's there in the second one.
Okay.
Whatever. I believe his character is introduced in the Animatrix. That's all I was saying.
Okay.
No, I vaguely remember that episode that you're talking about. Yeah.
It's so like that one still sticks in my head only because he has to basically
Escape. Is he like
escape, and he commits suicide in the Matrix to get woken up in the world.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's that. Brenden, you can finish the introduction.
Yeah, you can do the intro. I have another aside, so.
I mean, at this point, what's the point? Yeah, we'll blow through the intro and we'll just get into our stuff. Also joining us this evening is the Fortnite father. If V-Bucks were a real currency, Todd would have none of it because he would spend it all.
There you go.
Todd, how are you doing tonight?
I'm good.
What are you sipping on? You still alcohol free at the moment?
I had a half a beer last night, and it took me 3 hours to drink it because I don't know. I was just like in my head that I was like, "Fuck, I haven't had a beer in so long," and I don't. But I might crack one open. I'll have one.
Whoa, Mike, you're a bad influence.
That's what they keep saying. They're like, Mike, he's a bad boy. You shouldn't.
I made it 3 weeks, so that's not bad.
Who says that, Mike? Who says Mike's a bad boy? Who says that?
You know, the kids in the neighborhood. You won't know them. They go to a different school.
I knowing that we are all older gentlemen, I don't know if you wanna lead with all the kids in the neighborhood you're calling you a bad boy, Mike. I don't know if that's.
It's already been said. If you weren't streaming this, I'd be like, edit that out. I can't change it now.
Fair enough. We all know you're just joshing us. You're just playing
we all
around.
know that I don't talk to people.
That's true. That is true. Rounding us out this evening is the Disney daddy, Dominic 40. Dom, how are you doing tonight?
I actually forgot that we were doing introductions as we were talking about anime, so I didn't realize that we were like on this part of the show.
We were still yeah. When Mike gave his typical response, I was like, oh, you know what, Mike, how you feel about Cowboy Bebop? You shared the trailer this morning, so where are we at here? So how are you doing, Dom? How are you feeling?
And that was fine, but then Dom asked another question.
Which is also fine. Listen, it's a show about talking about this type of shit. It doesn't matter when we do it. If someone has listen, if you have a problem with the flow of the show, sound off in the comments, and I won't read them. If they're nice, I'll read them. If they're mean, go yell at yourself on the internet. I'm not gonna do it. Mike just wrote in the Twitch chat, dude, this shit blows. I mean, you're not wrong. How are you doing, Dom?
I'm doing fine. Do the rest of the intro so that I can get on to this next point that I was going to bring up.
Dom's like, I got shit to say. Fuck this show. All right, well, we'll blow through it. This episode of the Pass Control Podcast is sponsored by our good friends at Goodnight Fatty. If you're in the Salem, Massachusetts area or the North Shore of Massachusetts on a Friday, Saturday, or Sunday evening, and you want yourself something delicious, something sweet, something hot and fresh out of the oven, you can head on down to 1 Washington Square and get yourself a delicious fatty. And if you're unaware of what a fatty is, you can check them out on social media at Goodnight Fatty and just get yourself these tasty treats. And that's not all. If you're like me and you like waking up with something hot, delicious, fresh out of the oven on a Sunday morning, tomorrow Sunday, I might be doing just that. You hit up Good Morning Chubby and get yourself some hot, fresh, delicious pocket fresh out of the oven delivered straight to your door. If you don't know what a chubby is, you can check them out on social media at Good Morning Chubby. And you know what? If you head down to 1 Washington Square, let them know. Pass the controller sent you. Only other housekeeping things I have, we'll move right along, is the PTC Movie Club pick for September is Dom's, and it is The Country Bears, streaming on Disney+. Next week is the last week of the month, so next week we'll be talking about The Country Bears. So if you haven't watched the movie yet, you want to hear us talk about this movie, you get another week left, or you got to press skip next week and wait until you bank that episode and wait until you watch the movie. But next week we'll be talking about The Country.
Spoilers on The Country Bears.
Yeah, that film from 2004.
I mean, if even if you didn't care about being spoiled in that movie, I don't know, like, would you want to listen to us talk about a movie you haven't seen for an hour?
Spoiler alert! I listened to
There's no way you're gonna be able to talk about that movie for an hour.
The Country Bears. So.
Yes. Wait, what'd you say, Mike?
I said I listened to the "How Did This Get Made" episode of The Country Bears before actually watching the film.
Oh, interesting. All right. Fair. Well, Mike, you're cut from a different cloth, I would say, than most. I would say that you're
I don't know what to tell you.
You're what?
I said I'm cultured.
Yeah. No, Mike. You are a different breed. There are people, that are just not like you, and that's most of the world because you're just fucking. You are who you are. You're the anime senpai. Who's your main in Smash?
We are the youth of the nation.
That's where my mind went. It's also a Kesha song?
It's a Kesha song.
Is that the one that goes, I can't, I was trying to...
Going down.
No, that, of course I know that by heart. I'm talking about the song we mentioned earlier while we were playing Fortnite. I forget what it was.
Your love is my drug. Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
Also a Kesha song?
No, it wasn't a Kesha song. It was like a Tegan and Sarah song or something.
Wake up in the morning feeling like...
It wasn't a Tegan Sarah song that we were singing earlier. It was...
Tattoo.
Tattoo.
Yeah. What was the name? What song is that?
From Fantasy Island.
All the things...
All the things you said, yeah. I feel like that video got played so much on MTV back then that, like, I can still... Were they, like, running from a train or something?
They were. There was definitely a scene on a train.
Was it in the snow? Was the movie in the snow? Was the video in the snow? I feel like they were running from a train.
Oh, they're not gonna get us, Mike. That was the other song.
They're not gonna get us. Maybe that one they're running from a train. I don't know. There's definitely a train scene. I don't know. There's definitely a train scene in one of those films. Those. Why do I keep saying films? Anyways, I think that's all I got for housekeeping. There's some other things in the works coming up down the line, but we'll get there when we get there. We're getting real close to some big things, but we'll get there when we get there. So
big things popping and little things stopping.
Listen, Mike, I can't. There's things just that are just they've been in the crock pot for a bit. You know what I mean? And like when we pull that out of the oven, when we take that out of the smoker. When we throw that on a plate, Mike, you're gonna be like, "Damn, how long have you been cooking this shit?"
How many items are you gonna go through with this one?
I'm just saying we have a lot of shit on the back burner, Mike. We have a lot of shit that's just currently being marinated. Like I'm telling you, you've never had meat this good, Mike.
Okay.
Like you take some ideas, you take some time and some energy, you put them in a pot. You get just have a soup going.
Real talk for a second. Real talk. Can we get serious for a second?
Says the guy that has a fucking cartoon filter over his face. But yeah, go ahead.
This is my anime filter.
Oh, I apologize.
I will switch to the Pixar filter in a second. But real talk for a second. I don't know how many years ago it was. I bought a crock pot on Black Friday. it's like out of the box now, but I've never used it, and I don't know how to use a crock pot.
My crockpot's
You
real
literally
easy
turn it
cooking.
on.
It's
Yeah,
real,
you
it's
literally
real
turn
easy
it on.
Really
cooking.
easy, but I need to like go in there knowing like what I want to make, and I don't know what I want to make with a crock pot.
Chili. Fucking make yourself a stew.
Chicken. You can make chicken, and like chicken that like falls apart, like really easy. You can make it.
Yeah, you put some chicken in. You put some chicken. You put some broth, baby. You got yourself a stew going.
But I do also now own like a small air fryer, and I did a couple burgers in there, and that was okay.
I haven't fucked with an air fryer.
It's not the go-to air fryer.
They're not the
item.
go-to air fryer thing, but like between that and the George Foreman grill that I have, I think I like them better. In the
I haven't used
Air
I
fryer?
haven't used a George Foreman grill in a while. I used to make
Either. Are they still a thing? Do they still sell those?
I don't know. But I used to make
found
a
one
lot of like I would just make sandwiches and just put them in
Grilled
there.
cheeses all
Yeah,
day long.
yeah.
Fucking all
But even
day
just
long.
like a turkey and cheese, fucking fuck it, throw it in there. Get a little crisp
Yeah.
going, you know what I mean? Get a little nice
We
little
were
butter
ahead
char.
of the panini game.
Yeah, exactly. Fucking making paninis all day with my George Foreman. George Foreman grill, all I think about now is that
That thing
episode.
would stink up your house so bad though. Like it's like if you really think about it, it's just like you're cooking burgers on that thing. It's just smoke billowing out of this grill.
Yeah.
sitting on your table.
I used to. All I can think about is that episode of fucking The Office where Michael's like, I burned my foot, Pam. Can you please like whatever? He's like, how did you burn your foot? Listen, I like to wake up to the smell of bacon. So I put the fucking George Foreman grill at the end of my bed. Anyways,
tell Ryan to come get me.
anyways, before we get into the proper segments, Dom, the things you've been sitting on, you've been cooking under there.
So we got word that we're getting a KOTOR remake
Yes, sir.
exclusive for PS5.
Mm-hmm.
We were then told that we were also getting a KOTOR just
Port.
Remaster? I don't know.
yeah, port
Port,
for
yeah.
the Switch for November, I believe.
Yeah.
There's a rumor that Quantic Dream, the developer that makes Detroit Become Human and Heavy Rain,
Mhm.
there's a rumor that they have been working with Unit Image, who is a animation studio that made a bunch of teasers for games like Far Cry 6, Death Stranding, God of War, that they're making a teaser for a new Star Wars game.
Interesting. I think
I've never played a good Quantic Dream game. Ever.
Really?
Yeah, I played. It was Beyond Two Souls, and then there was the one that was like a huge deal for PS3. I forget what it was called. They're like kind of like, click and point. You can change the story a little bit, kind of games. I don't know. I wouldn't get excited about them.
I mean, so here's the thing: is I mean,
that might work well for them if they have a good story, I guess. But...
I can't speak to the Quantic Dream aspect because I don't think I've ever actually played a Quantic Dream game, but I will say we're about to be in a period that, for Star Wars fans, I think is going to be arguably a golden age of Star Wars video games because, and I guess some people enjoyed Battlefront 2 and some people enjoyed Rogue, whatever. What was the newest Rogue game? Rogue Squadron?
It wasn't Rogue. It was just Squadrons.
And then obviously some people really enjoyed Jedi Fallen Order. So like, not to say there hasn't been good Star Wars games in this last 10 years, but this EA exclusivity deal is expiring in 2023, I believe. So we're on the precipice of potentially just a deluge of Star Wars games that are going to be made from all different types of developers. And will there be bad ones? Of course. Will there be great ones? Absolutely. And I think there's just going to be a lot of variety for Star Wars games coming forward because I believe going forward, as I think they'd be silly to do anything otherwise, Disney is going to just handle it the way they've been handling Marvel, which is we will license people who want to make games with these properties. So, the right developer approaches them about working with, Star Wars in some way, you're going to see a lot of different things, which is exciting in my opinion. So, I wouldn't be shocked if this rumor is true.
I think that there probably won't be as many games as I don't think a deluge is a good word, only because I think that they're going to probably try to keep everybody under a certain like. I mean, I guess Knights of the Old Republic isn't canon, but I feel like the other video games that they've made so far
is Fallen
are,
Order canon?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, maybe that's what they're trying to do. I mean, I don't know if they've said this. Maybe they're reworking the story of KOTOR in the remake to make it canon. I don't know if that's even possible. But
I believe that they've come out and said that anything that has Sith Force ghosts isn't canon because Sith can't use the Force Ghost ability. It was something weird like
interesting. I mean, I don't know. Is Star Wars Visions considered canon, or is that just like,
that. So.
Yeah.
But I think they came out and said that it's not canon.
Yeah. So I mean, I could still see them making games that they just outright say are not like, whatever. They're just kind of out there. But who knows? I still think regardless, you're going to see. I mean, if you look back at EA's had this deal with them for whatever 10 or so years, it might have been more actually. They didn't really put a lot of games out. So I think you're going to, at the bare minimum, see a regular flow of Star Wars games.
They put at least 4 games out in 10 years. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I'm only getting to 4.
Are you including the mobile game?
No. Then that's 5.
Was that an EA game?
Yeah.
I mean, there were other Star Wars games that were not made by EA, but they were, I'm assuming, done that way.
Battlefront and Battlefront 2.
Yep.
Fallen Order. Squadrons. Those are all...
So 4 games, yeah. I mean, I would argue for like a company as big as EA, that's not really a good outpour of games, in my opinion, for a property that is what it is. It's Star Wars.
The other thing is Battlefront came out, and then there was a giant gap between the rest of the games.
Yeah,
I feel like if you look at the last 5 years versus the first 5 years.
Yes, that is true. But there were also there were a couple of VR games which I don't believe EA had anything to do with. But I'm assuming that's because they were VR games, they were allowed to kind of like work that out. It's like, hey, we're gonna make these VR experiences that we want to do, and it's just not going to compete with your other games that you guys can make and put out on platforms, etc. So I'm assuming that's how those games existed. But regardless, I mean, I feel like already we're being teased with, obviously port is one thing, the KOTOR port to Switch, but we're getting a KOTOR remake, which it isn't necessarily a new game, but it is like a big undertaking. We're getting I believe
the MMO is also EA, or published by EA at least.
Interesting. So there's stuff. I don't know. I'm just excited to see, at the bare minimum, whether it's a deluge of games or not. I'm excited to see the opportunity for other people to play with Star Wars, and for us to get those things. I think that just the more people that have the creative.
It forces people to be creative when the license isn't only in one hand.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's exciting. That's why I appreciate what they've done with at least Marvel's going, so far, is like, hey, we got Ultimate Alliance 3 over here, we got Spider-Man game on PS4, we got other things, got Guardians coming out cross platform. You got Avengers, which should have been a better game than it was. They're letting people do stuff, which is good to see. So hopefully that happens with Star Wars going forward. Like I said, we'll get bad stuff, we'll get good stuff.
Take the good, you take the bad.
Exactly. Is
Take
that
them
what?
both, and there you have Facts of Life.
So, Mike, before we get into the main topics, we're gonna return to everyone's favorite new segment. I've been getting blown. Mike, I've been getting blown up about it. All these new listeners are like, fuck. They're listening, Mike, because they know they want to hear you finally just fucking get it, and they want to hear you understand Animal Crossing. And we're getting that Animal Crossing Direct next month. I'm getting my Animal Crossing shoes on right now from Puma. Look at these fucking bad boys.
I saw your Instagram post and I was like, oh wow, he got those fucking.
They came real quick. I also ordered flip flops and those didn't come yet, but we'll see. They'll be here soon. But anyways, Mike's Mike has two of the best segments on the show. Mike, I'll let Dom ask. Dom, you got a question you want to ask Mike?
You know.
All right, maybe not.
Know what?
What to ask?
What? We got an update from Mike?
But we know he hasn't played anything.
I don't know. Has he?
Well,
Mike, have you played anything?
I like to
No.
save it until we're talking about some new game that he's played.
All right,
But
I like that. Well, we'll keep it. We'll get
an update. We'll get an update, Mike.
Yeah. All right.
What's your
Go ahead,
current game of the year?
You know, it's a toss-up between Space Jam and New Legacy in 12 minutes.
Okay. All right. We're gonna get a couple more games on that docket so that you can put them up toe to toe against Space Jam, because I'm assuming Space Jam is your front runner. I'm just gonna take a wild guess.
Is it?
I don't know, Mike. It's your game
Here's
of the year.
thing. I know I played Space Jam: A New Legacy, and I know the time was like not great, but I also don't remember what happened. Whereas at least 12 minutes, I remember what happened.
Okay.
And what my problems were with the game.
Ooh,
You
12.
know what's crazy about 12 minutes though? That was in development for like 6 years.
Yeah.
That game. That was the final.
And Space Jam New Legacy looks like it was made in 6 months.
3
Mike.
months.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
You know, I really don't like to harp on 12 minutes because I honestly think that the problem was just I am not a click and
No, it's not. That was not the
click
problem.
and point.
That was
Yeah.
because like I'm fine with those kind of games if they're done like if they don't make me feel like I'm wasting my time for half of the game. You know, like because I felt like that was the case for like a large chunk of that game. It was to the point that like I didn't even want to finish it. I just fucking deleted it. I'm like I'm never coming back to this game. I don't even care about the achievements.
Oh, you didn't finish it?
No.
Damn, what a fake gamer! Wow,
Yeah,
look at this
I was like,
guy.
fuck it.
This I will say, this interesting update. This is the first time Mike's given any sort of hint at a lead, and it seems like 12 minutes might be edging out Space Jam as number one. We'll see. I mean, I would argue still in his top 5, so he's still got. We're gonna flesh out that top 5. We're gonna flesh out that top 5.
Yeah. Regardless, by the end of the year, those two games will still be my top 5.
Interesting.
Hold on a second, because I'll definitely buy
Gonna play Psychonauts. Did we say?
Nicktoons Super Slam.
Oh,
Fight
is-
Yeah,
When-
that's
when's
gonna
it
be
come
a
out?
game of the year.
When's that come
Definitely
out?
game of the year. It comes out the same day as Sakurai's direct for the last Smash character.
It's amazing.
Oh no! Oh
It comes
no!
out the same day.
SpongeBob for Smash?
Oof.
Maybe.
This is a terrible time right now. So we'll segue into Mike's other Mike centric category topic, which is Mike. Who is this Animal Crossing character, and what do they do?
Who is your daddy and what does he do?
So I'm gonna now throw. I feel like I've been building you up to kind of get a good background of Animal Crossing, and I'm gonna kind of shatter that right now because now that I'm thinking about it, this character. I'll give you a hint because actually I won't say this yet. I'll say it after.
Okay.
But while you're still guessing, so Mike, who is Wisp?
Wait, say that again.
Or I guess what is Wisp, and what does Wisp do? You can start with what is Wisp. WISP.
Oh, that's wicked easy.
Touch the fuck out.
My favorite part of the segment was when Todd just gives the answer for me. Todd's just like, "Oh yeah, this question that was not directed to me, I know the answer to that." Wisp. Now I'm gonna ask a quick question, and I think I already know the answer to this. But in Animal Crossing, none of the animals are insects, correct? They're all
Yeah.
Correct.
I don't think so.
Correct.
like-
No, I don't believe
they're
there's
all
any
like,
insects.
mammals or avians or maybe are there lizards? There are no lizards. Amphibians.
There's
No, there are, Mike. Yes.
Okay.
For also, I mean,
There-
I
we
guess
established no insects.
so there are octopuses. Wisp is not an octopus. Are octopi considered like arthropods or something? Are they like considered like? Are they the same like genus
Oh,
as
I
like
guess
insects?
Yeah, I guess I should have followed up with but there are aquatic creatures. I'm gonna just
Yes,
do a
there are
countdown
there
for
are aquatic creatures. There shouldn't. I don't believe there are any insect characters.
Okay.
Mike,
There
did
are
you give up on
characters
Untitled?
that do stuff with insects, but there are no insect characters.
Yes. Okay. Um. So Wisp.
See, I didn't know the answer to this, but I just looked it up, and it's easy, but
Super easy.
it's
Can I?
Yeah. Go
I'm
ahead,
gonna
Todd. Answer.
No, don't
Can I
give him
give
the
you a-
answer.
Can I give him a hint?
Hold
Can
on, I want to
give him
hear what his first guess is, then give him the hint. What's your first guess, Mike? What is Wisp?
My first guess is
a- Wrong.
I want to say avian in nature.
I mean,
so so this is also the problem is that
Yeah. Go ahead.
it's not a fucking animal.
yeah, this is the thing, Mike. This is I believe the only
That's why
character.
I had to look it up because I was like, this is not an animal.
Yeah, this is I believe the only character that is not actually an animal and is not
Well-
you, so not a human.
Well, it may have been an animal.
Is it like a skeleton?
It's-
Skeleton of
It is not a skeleton.
It is also in Super Mario Brothers.
What?
I mean, not as Wisp.
I know.
We've given him too many clues.
Mike, do you know where? Do
Only
you know
at
where the?
night. Only at
Do you know where
night.
the? Do you know where the term Wisp comes from, Mike?
No, I don't think I do.
Will o' the Wisp.
So that phrase came to my head, but I didn't think that it came from that. And also, I don't think I actually like read that it was like a short story or something, right? Oh wait,
Yeah.
wait,
It's like folklore.
folklore. And here's the weird thing: I don't think it's correct, but I'm like picturing something with like a toad of some sort, but I think I'm thinking about the wrong thing.
Yeah, you're thinking of something different.
Mike, also we said it's not an animal.
I know you said it's not an animal, but like when I'm picturing, well, I need to figure out what I think I'm thinking of for
Gotcha.
that thing.
So you're on the right track with skeleton. Do you have a second guess?
Oh boy, I'm on the right track. It's like a ghost.
There you go,
It
Mike.
is a
Wisp is a
ghost.
ghost. So
Will of the Wisps is ghost lights, generally over like fog or lakes.
it's also the second game in the Ori series of games.
Yeah.
So what does Wisp do, Mike?
Well, it's a ghost. I don't know, something about Halloween. Shows up, gives you candy.
I mean, that is a smart guess, but no, another character shows up at Halloween, which we will not talk about today.
Of course.
Oh, that
course.
is.
No, touch the fuck up, because that character will probably come up again next month.
Like what do ghosts do?
They scare me.
Not what he does in this game.
He shoots ectoplasm everywhere and he gets ectoplasm all over the place.
So Halloween
Wait,
is
are
the
you looking
first.
this up right now?
No, what?
I can't see. Every time I look at Mike with that filter,
It's so bad. I hate the filter. So, not Halloween related, Mike. You have one more guess. What does Wisp do in New Horizons? At least I don't know if he does different things in previous games.
Wisp just shows up in people's houses and just fuck shit up. He's like, I'm a ghost. Oh,
He just comes through the walls and makes blasts of cum shots.
Yeah, yeah. He just
and you have to exercise him. You have to say, Wisp, get the hell out of here.
listen.
Get
It's
outta here.
it's not a bad guess, but you were wrong. Would you like me to reveal what Wisp does, Mike?
Unless you want to spend the next half hour of me just making shit up.
All right, fair enough. Wisp shows up in the hours between 8 p.m. and 5 a.m. And when you find Wisp, he scatters 5 spirits, and you must collect the spirits. When you do, Wisp will give you a gift.
but he's scared of you. That's why he fucking
Yes,
loses his spirit.
he is scared of you, Mike. Isn't that something?
He should be.
Isn't that something?
He should be.
Anyways, so there you go. You got the one non-animal character done, Mike. So you don't have to worry about that again. You won't get that thrown at you again.
Isn't there a character that dresses like a rabbit that's not actually a rabbit? So doesn't that technically count as like not?
We just don't actually know what that character actually is. Don't say the name because that is another one that will definitely make Mike try to guess. there's a following of people that think it is Isabel, but
I think it's just a.
Okay.
I think it's a spirit that makes massive
cum shots.
shots.
I'm just asking if any of these fuckers.
There's no.
Who is the character that everyone's like losing their mind over for the porn?
Anka.
Okay.
She's an Egyptian cat.
Okay.
The
cats are sexy. I'll give them that.
All right. But yeah, so there's no canonical explanation to what Wisp was before Wisp was a ghost. So could be a dead animal. So still technically could be an animal. We have no idea. Or maybe it's I wonder if Wisp is like the dead villager of the previous game. That would be a good little twist, because that's why he has gifts to give you. He's like, oh shit, here's my fucking furniture.
Throw that into the universe. Maybe that'll be the case.
So
make an online following.
The German word for Wisp, the German name for Wisp is
Tom.
What?
Nothing.
No. It's like almost. It's just missing one letter from the German name for Boo.
Oh, interesting.
So Todd was right, just not in English, I guess.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and Wisp, I mean, looks sort of like a Boo, but not really. But like,
No, yeah.
It's a Nintendo cat, ghost. Anyways, calling Brenden out for being incorrect, that should be a segment. What did I get wrong, Mike?
You made it sound like there weren't a lot of NPCs that weren't animals, and Jade's saying that there's 4 of them.
Oh shit!
There are apparently 4 visible NPCs that aren't animals and don't resemble animals. I'd have to think about that one. I mean, you could be correct. There's also like probably 500 Animal Crossing characters, so I would argue that 4 is not necessarily a lot.
5 villagers who aren't animals.
Don't Google that, Mike.
I don't intend to.
Anyways.
Like every week I forget that this is a thing that you want to do.
It's a video.
Yeah. Jade, I believe that you're correct. I mean, there are definitely Animal Crossing characters that I don't think of on a top of my head.
I mean,
and they don't come forward through games.
To be fair, some of these are technically not animals, but they are robot versions of animals.
Oh, is that what they're saying? Is that what they're saying? Like, is that what's on this list? I would like, if I brought those into the mix, I would consider those just as what they're resembling as robot forms. Like, if we did those characters for Mike, I wouldn't be like, no, Mike, you were wrong. It's actually a robot chicken.
Oh.
Do they still make episodes of that show?
Yeah, the new season's airing right now.
Is it good? Do you watch it or no? I haven't watched it in so long.
I don't really watch it. I don't really watch Robot Chicken, but
I feel like Robot Chicken is one of the most overrated shows ever.
I still feel like it's a pretty culty show. I don't think it's like.
I would say that because of its cult status, I would say it's like adequately rated.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel like everyone watched that shit especially the first couple seasons it was out. I feel like everyone was watching.
Yeah, I'm sure like it was big. I think that was probably one of Adult Swim's bigger properties.
I still would feel like it never really crossed into mainstream. Maybe some of it's like specials with like Star Wars sketches or something, but
the closest I can say that it ever got to mainstream is there were a couple Family Guy episodes where they just redid the Star Wars original trilogy, and at the end of one of them, because Robot Chicken had already done a Star Wars thing, Chris's character, who's played by Seth Green, who obviously does Robot Chicken, like it's his show, he makes some sort of reference to the fact that Robot Chicken already did this, and they kind of rag on him for acting like Robot Chicken's a thing people watch.
Interesting. Okay.
Simpsons did it.
So the last thing that I wanted to talk about before we wrap things up here, which should have been probably a little bit more of a segment, but we're just going to go with it for now. There was a big, meaty Nintendo Direct this past week, about 40 minutes long. A couple of very interesting announcements. We'll get to the casting for the Mario movie last, but before we get to the movie, any of the game announcements stick out to anyone? Anything people are excited about here?
Uh, Kirby definitely.
Yeah,
Like
for me
that
it's
looks like a
Kirby.
dream game.
Yeah, it looks so good.
Yeah, Liam's so excited too. He's just like this. He wants to watch that trailer over and over again. I don't know. Every time, like everyone always hypes up that a direct comes out, and every time I'm like, there's one or two good things, but I'm like, why do people make such a big deal about these every time? There's never like a monster thing that anyone ever wants from these things that happens.
They don't, because they don't give us information otherwise.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it is. Nintendo's very tight-lipped about. Like I don't care if things get leaked. I'm kind of sad that the Kirby thing got leaked beforehand, only because I'm actually really excited about that game, and I feel like if I saw that get revealed without knowing about it, I would have been like, "Whoa, what the fuck?" Like I would have been really like, I'm still super excited about it, but like, I'm mad that the internet robbed me of that. Like, seeing that happen and be like, "Oh, what the fuck? This game looks amazing." I guess you still kind of got it because I don't think the trailer leaked in advance. I think just this like the splash image leaked. And it got leaked by Nintendo. Like Nintendo accidentally put it on one of their websites or something. So it is what it is. But yeah, that was probably the standout thing for me. Like that game looks fucking awesome.
Yeah, right. It looks so fucking good.
Like it has
And
no business looking that cool. Like it just looks like it's gonna be fun.
You know me too. The last like 2 Kirby games I played, I think, like I was not a fan of at all. So it's like looks like a perfect Kirby game. Basically.
Yeah. I mean, Kirby's one of those things, at least for me, in my opinion, like Kirby's one of those games where it's like the game itself usually aren't ever that hard, or just they're kind of like they're Kirby games. But like I still enjoy Kirby games for what they are, and I like playing them. To be fair, like to go off your point, I didn't play Star Allies. I did play the 3DS games. Actually, I didn't play Planet Robobot, but I did play Super Deluxe, Triple
Super
Deluxe,
Deluxe was great.
whatever the fuck
Whatever
it was
it's
called.
called.
Yeah,
That was a great game though. I thought.
yeah,
It was
I
like,
liked it too. Yeah, but it's just Kirby. It's like it's the same thing with the Yoshi games. Like the Yoshi games aren't necessarily challenging, but sometimes they're fun games to play no matter what.
I'm so happy that Kirby's getting a 3D platforming game again.
He deserves it.
Right.
Yeah, not like fucking Donkey Kong hasn't deserved it for the last fucking 30 years.
It's coming, baby. It's coming. It's coming.
Yeah, it's wild that they haven't done that though.
Oh, it's definitely coming.
I'm actually surprised they don't have any announcements on a new Donkey Kong game, just because Tropical Freeze is like 5-6 years at this point.
They ported it and gave it to us again.
Yeah, I think, but still, I think next year, I think next year the slate is wide open. Just looking at what they have been putting out on the Switch, Donkey Kong's due for a new game next year, I think, and that'll line up great with.
Now voiced by Seth Rogen.
Yeah.
Just give all into that. That would be good.
That would be amazing.
Nintendo Switch Online is getting an expansion that'll add, so N64 games, real cool. I'm surprised that Sega Genesis is like the other part of that pack, just because again, like it's Sega and it's not Nintendo. It was also really interesting to me that Nintendo's also making a Genesis controller that you can buy if you want. It's just funny to me that Nintendo's doing that.
Sega does what Nintendo don't.
Exactly. I seen a lot of people kind of getting up in arms about this announcement, saying like, "Oh, you have to pay more for these old games that don't have anything added to them, all this stuff." And it's like, I get that part, but also at the same time, like some.
I don't think I was gonna say I don't think the price point's bad. So like, I don't care because like I just piss away money on everything. So it's not like a price thing. It's that. I don't know. I feel like they haven't released many good games for the fucking 2 current Super NES and NES games they have already. They release like a lot of shit games all the time. So
I mean, most of the good games are already there.
Yeah, I know, but there's like so much like random shit from like old school Nintendo. I don't know if it's the rights kind of thing or like
it's probably mostly just a third party thing. It's like they're not going to put the Final Fantasy games on there because Square probably doesn't want them there. So it's like that part probably comes into play, which doesn't make everything like good or bad or like defending Nintendo in this regard. It is just I think the thing that is the most aggravating about this type of scenario is that, like, again, it's cool to see these games coming to Switch in that way, but I think it speaks to a deeper issue of, like, you look at PlayStation and it has a really bad backwards compatibility problem, a little bit better than Nintendo, but still has a bad problem. Microsoft is like the only one that's like, hey, guess what? You can just play all of our fucking games. It doesn't matter what console you're on. Well, eventually it will if you're like trying to play Series X games on a previous console. But like as far as future proofing things, like if you're on an Xbox, you can pretty much play the back catalog as long as, you know, they've been given the okay for Microsoft to put those games on there. So like Microsoft's really good about preserving its game library and bringing it forward, where you would love to see Nintendo do that. And it again, it's like it's a double-edged sword, because it's like they should just be better about it because they have a crazy legacy of games that people have a hard time being able to play, or they have to download illegal ROMs because trying to find an actual copy of an old game is super expensive. There's a lot of weird pieces to it. Hopefully this just continues to evolve into like, you know,
I feel like this is something that should have been done on like the Wii U. You know what I'm saying though? Like I feel like it's fine, whatever. But I'm one of those people that like I don't need any of this shit. I'll pay double what I'm paying now. Just give me a somewhat decent online system where I can fucking don't have to go on a phone app to talk to people.
Yeah,
like that,
I would rather the internet itself functionality just be better than having all this stuff. To be fair,
and I'd pay $100 a year for that shit if it worked well. You know, like it's like I don't care about like it's. I prefer that stuff, but you know, it is what it is. I'll turn on like the classic. I'll play like Punch Out once in a while, and it's fine. But like, I'm never clamoring to play any of those games on that. You know, I usually have so many other games I need to play. It's just.
I think the biggest thing is that like you see what Microsoft is doing with their back catalog, and it can be done, and you see what the Wii did with Virtual Console, and again, you were paying for all that stuff, but like. It had pretty much fucking everything. Like if there was a game you wanted to play, it was pretty much there. And, you know, should Nintendo build that entire library back and then just give it to you as part of their online service? That'll probably never happen. But like the fact that like Virtual Console just didn't carry over to these things is kind of bizarre. And I think that makes it worse. Like if Virtual Console didn't exist, like if the Wii never had that, and like Nintendo was doing what it's doing right now, I think you'd maybe see a little bit less people being so like, what the fuck? 100%. But I mean, we saw what they can do, and they're not doing that.
$2. It was like $2.99 a game or $2 a game, wasn't it? Like,
maybe like $5. I think. I don't know.
Like,
I think Nintendo games were $2. SNES games were $5, and 64 games were $10.
Yeah, just give me that option, man. That'd be great. I'll pay for those things. Then I can pick and choose what I want to buy, and you have to give me some fucking games I never heard of that I don't really want to ever play.
Yeah.
You know, I wish that'd be amazing if they brought that shit back.
It's kind of another thing though with Nintendo that like I don't really ever expect them to change that, because if you just look back at even just their main titles, like how many times have they re-released Mario Brothers, and how many times have millions of people bought it? You know what I mean? Like. They know people are going to buy it. They're never like, I would be shocked if they ever just like kind of put that stuff out there as like part of their library, or, you know, like renewed all the licenses from the Wii Virtual Console. It's like, hey, all the games you bought, if you purchase those, guess what? You have them on the Switch now. Yeah, and if you want to buy more or whatever, like I just don't see them ever doing that.
I can only imagine how much money I spent on the Wii, and like I have no clue what that machine is.
Yeah,
and, like, you know, it's like
I still have my Wii, but like, I spent a lot of money on there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I still.
If you want to play the Final Fantasy games, you can. You just have to buy them on Steam.
Yeah, or the Final Fantasy collection, Pixel collection that's on mobile now.
Honestly, this is what my Steam Deck's gonna be for, though. Shit like this.
Was it mobile that they announced it for? I thought it was Steam that they had announced.
I think it's Steam and mobile.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's not much better, but.
Yeah, exactly. It's a weird one. Like I'm still excited about it. Like I'm cool to see these there. I hope people who never got to play some of these games and don't want to spend like, you know, I don't know, $80 on a cartridge for like Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, and then whatever an N64 costs, you know, can play it on their Switch. I think that stuff is cool. Again, it's just kind of unfortunate that.
Wait, did they say Smash is coming to it?
They did release an initial list. I don't think Smash was on it.
Banjo, yep.
Banjo is on there, which I thought was very interesting. Microsoft
put out a thing that said like we're partnering with Nintendo to like release Banjo from.
Yes. That like actually made my eyes light up during the direct. I was like, that's interesting, because not only are they working with Microsoft to put Banjo there, but it's part of the first wave. Like that's like kind of a big thing, which also makes me think, cool, they'll probably put Donkey Kong 64 on there, which is kind of cool, because I'd probably check
Perfect
that out
Dark.
again. Yeah, Perfect Dark will probably, like all those GoldenEye probably won't, because the James Bond
thing,
licensing.
probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Perfect Dark will end up there.
Which is all cool. And like if I'm Microsoft, I'm definitely getting Perfect Dark on there sooner than later, or maybe time it closer to the Perfect Dark relaunch. You know what I mean? So it's cool stuff. I mean, it is cool for some reasons, but I understand why some people would be, and not to say that I'm not, but I get why some people would be a little like, all right, fuck you guys, come on now.
Also from the direct, I was gonna bring up that I have already bought in KOTOR for the mobile, as dumb as that is.
Mhm.
So I will also be picking that up for Switch, since that was also part of that direct, wasn't it?
Yep, yeah, KOTOR port, not remake, coming to Switch. I'll also probably get that, unless it gets announced as getting like a port to Xbox too. I'll probably buy it there. But that's cool. I mean, that's a game that I never finished, and I had it back in the day, and I'd love to actually finish it. So I'm excited for that. Monster Hunter Rise is getting like a substantial amount of content next year.
So far away.
I know,
So far away.
but it's probably for the
fine.
better. There's just so much shit to
Yeah.
play. But like, it
I
seems
still need
like
to
they're
get
gonna,
back into that game.
yeah, it seems like they're adding a lot of content, because I believe even on the splash page for that, it said like a substantial update. Like it's like going to be a lot of content. So that's pretty cool.
I thought it was gonna be when they first showed the like dragon on top of the like broken down castle. I was like, oh shit, are we getting some sort of like Dracula thing for Halloween? It almost looked like a Castlevania type castle with the dragon on top.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely didn't think it was Monster Hunter at first. I was like, maybe it is, but then I was thinking it was something else. I don't know what I was thinking, but yeah.
No, I like when the dragon first popped out in my head, I was like, are they already making a new Monster Hunter game for Switch? Like, I didn't even cross my brain of it being an expansion. I was like, why are they already making a new Monster Hunter game? But speaking of Dracula, Castlevania Advance Collection got announced, and I believe it also dropped the day of the direct.
It is already out, yep.
So that's there. A lot of people are really excited about that. And ActRaiser remake. I don't know if it got also announced for other platforms. Let me see.
I would like to get that on Xbox One.
It is just the Game Boy Advance games, right?
Yes. Are now coming to Switch, PS4, Windows, and Xbox One. Nintendo announced the collection. So yeah, so they are coming. I don't know if they all dropped yesterday or whatever the day of the direct, but I believe it dropped the day of the direct for Nintendo at least.
Switch ones are out, yeah.
ActRaiser Renaissance is a remake of a classic. I know Todd's probably pumped about that.
I was psyched about that, but I've been hearing horrible things about the game itself. A lot of people have been saying it's terrible.
Oh, did that also drop that day?
I believe so. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Oh, that's things to hear.
I know. I'm kind of...
We got two announcements of announcements, which say what you will, I guess, about them, but we got the initial tease of the final Smash character, which will be, I believe they gave it a date. It's the first week of October, I think. Will be the final Mr. Sakurai Presents. Mike, can you confirm? Is it the
October
the 5th? Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll finally find out who the final Smash character is that day in a special Mr. Sakurai Presents.
SpongeBob?
I don't think it will be SpongeBob. We have any final guesses for who we think it will be? Because we will, when the next episode we record will be Movie Club, so this will be the time. I don't really know who my want is. I don't know if I have like a single want, but I think who I think it's gonna end up being is between Jonesy and Sora. That's where I think my brain is at right now. What about you guys?
I can't see it being Sora.
I don't see it being Sora either.
Yeah, same.
That's fine. Who do you think it's? Or I guess if you have a want, or who do you think?
I don't see Jonesy at all either. But
who do you think it's gonna be?
Yeah, I think whoever's going to be, I think I'm going to be disappointed by. I can't.
That's exactly what I was
said. Yeah, I don't know if I could be like, I don't know.
What would it take? What character would take?
Would it take me to
Yeah.
be like super jazzed about? I don't
Yeah.
even know. Like, for instance, Kazuya was a surprise to me, and I don't know if I'd say I was jazzed by it, but like, I liked that it was him. Obviously, like, I don't think I really played the game. I haven't played the game much in a while, but I liked that he was the guy that they added.
That they chose,
and
yeah.
I think anyone else would fall into that same category. Would be where I would like at best I would be happy that they were
Neutral?
added. Happy that they were added, but I don't think anything would ever reach the heights of, say, going. I might be thinking too far back when I'm saying, Sonic or Mega Man being added, where it was mind blowing. Now I'm just like, oh, cool. This is the person they chose to add.
I do think we're like so numbed to the.
Yeah,
We're
the
spoiled.
releases.
We're spoiled.
Yeah.
I mean,
We're
look at
spoiled. So,
the
like,
fucking size of this roster. We're spoiled.
Yeah, we're spoiled, and then I think at best I would say, oh, cool, and at worst I'd be like, oh, another Fire Emblem character, or oh, a Gen 8 Pokemon.
I would love it. I would laugh so hard if they just ended it with a Fire Emblem character.
I think that's
would
where
say,
I
I
would
think
be.
that'd be
If they
amazing.
added another Fire Emblem character, like, you fucking kidding me?
If
This is how we're
they
ending this?
if they announced a new Fire Emblem game during this direct, I would say yes. But I just don't see the relevancy. Like that's kind of where I'm at, is like if they end it with
They did announce a new Kirby game.
and Sakurai makes Kirby. And to be fair, they also, the way the flow of the direct went was they said, here's when we're doing, before we show you this next video, this is when the Smash thing is happening. So it's like they fucking put those together. I don't think it's going to be a Kirby character, but I guess it could be. Who knows? But I guess it comes down to, like, when I think about who else from Nintendo could they end this on? Like,
Waluigi.
I mean,
I think that would be amazing. I think that would be fucking. I think that's like the best case scenario.
I don't say I don't think Waluigi can't make it. I just feel like this is a scenario where we might actually get two final characters, or the final character plus a bonus character, and I can see Waluigi being the bonus character, as a basically like, all right, shut the fuck up, here's Waluigi. I just, like, if I think about in Nintendo's stable who they could add to the game as the final roster slot, it would be such a deep cut. I don't think you see anyone be happy about it. Or
I know someone who I want.
Or it'd be such a weird character, like a Piranha Plant type, where it's like people might be excited after they get to play with the character, but when he's like, oh, the final character is Chargin' Chuck, people are gonna be like, what? Like, I'm not paying for this.
I want Kimmich as the final character. I think that would be a cool little final character.
Yeah.
I
mean,
but they already, they just did
I wouldn't be
Plant.
happy, but
Yeah.
I would be happy with that. I would be psyched about it. Like,
I mean,
feel
if-
like that would be a character for Smash.
Yeah, I think they are good at, like, making anyone like a cool, viable character. I just think with this last slot, I think the only way it can be is another third-party character, and it has to be someone that's just iconic, but not like
But
cool.
that's why I don't like. We've had this conversation. I don't think Jonesy, even if it's all the other
Fortnite's the-
costumes from that game.
Fortnite is the biggest game
Yeah.
in the world.
Oh
For-
yeah, no, I don't disagree with that. No, it's not about like.
I know you
just
don't think Jonesy is iconic, but like he's their character, and it would just be a situation where it's like there's 8 skins, and it would just be 8 different Fortnite characters. That's what it would be.
Yeah,
Or it could
I
be
also-
8 different Jonesies. There's so many Jonesies
Yeah.
in the
I feel
game.
like we just did, I
That's
said this
true.
before though. I said like they just did Minecraft. They're gonna have all these fucking people that their special powers. They're gonna have another building person now, and
Why? They have
there's no way they're
27 sword characters and like a bunch of projectile
know, but
characters.
that's-
You're.
That's a lot of change to a game though. If you have 2 characters that can build.
I don't think they're
Like,
gonna
no-
make him be a character that can like build
We
fortresses
also
around
have,
himself.
like, a bunch of characters with, I would argue,
Swords.
would you want to no to say like rage mechanics or whatever is going on with, like, say, Joker, and who else am I thinking of right now? There are other characters and I'm blanking on them because I'm on the
Doesn't-
spot.
Doesn't Kazuya have a rage mechanic?
Yeah, I couldn't remember if he does, but Sephiroth, I guess, is the other one I was gonna think about. Yeah, things like that. Honestly, at this point,
Little Mac to an extent.
Little Mac to an extent.
Terry also has a meter like that.
Yeah, Terry, yeah, I think Terry is another one I was really thinking of. But I think at this point, I don't really care. Not that I don't care, but the actual last character is one thing, but I really want to see who they end up throwing in as a Mii fighter. I think those are the real surprises.
Okay. Sure.
I think. Sure,
Yeah,
Mike.
'cause we got Cuphead, we got
Listen,
someone else,
I don't
Shantae.
give a fuck about the Mii Fighter costume unless it also comes with a song. That's the only thing I care about.
Didn't we get a song for
we didn't-
Cuphead and for
Shantae, that's it.
Shantae?
But
I
not
don't
for
think we
everyone
got a
else.
Cuphead
We
one,
didn't
right?
we didn't get one for everyone.
Megalovania, we got that
We-
for
for-
Sans.
Yeah, but we did not get a song for every character.
We didn't get a song for every character, but I'm saying like that's what I'm more excited about, I think, or more interested by.
Yeah.
I think so. Jonesy, I think, is a possible like real addition for that last spot, or a real contender, I guess. I still think Crash is probably in the running to be that last spot. He's just such an iconic gaming character that
I would
like missing from the roster.
I would personally rather see Rayman over Crash.
Same. But I
mean,
agree with Crash,
don't-
though.
I don't disagree, but I don't think. I don't know. I don't see Rayman coming after he was supposed to come last game.
Yeah,
and didn't.
after they screwed them over with the whole like.
I don't know.
Wii U
We're getting a
exclusive.
fucking Mario Rabbids sequel. Ubisoft and Nintendo playing nice. I
I
just hope we
suppose
don't. I
could
just
get
hope we don't get a
Rabbids.
fucking rabbit. I don't want that. Might actually make me
I'll laugh.
upset.
That's
Like
another great one. I was
like
like,
that would be an annoying character if they added. Like I'm not gonna be upset. That's come on now. But like that would be like what the fuck.
If there's one character that I want for the last spot, I want to see Waluigi come just to have a payoff. I mean,
Yeah.
it
I agree.
it does seem weird that he's just being left out. Like, I it's just a weird thing. Like they just
Yeah, I
stopped.
agree,
They
100%.
just stopped making reference to Waluigi
I
for some
I
reason.
think the best thing they could do with Waluigi is like they have the final character get revealed, they bring him in, have the trailer, Sakurai talks about him for whatever, however long the fucking presents is. Let's just say it's 30 minutes.
And then that's
The last
that's
5
after-
minutes,
and then-
he's like, actually, I have one more thing for you. And then it's like another trailer and it's fucking like Waluigi gets his justice or some bullshit.
What's the number of characters right now? Before this
Probably
final?
almost 90 or no, probably
Yeah,
almost
it's 80
100.
It's 80 something. I don't think it's over 90, is it?
I think if you include Echo Fighters, it's like close to 100. I think. I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I see a lot of people keep saying Master Chief. Again, unless they're gonna put fucking Master Chief Collection or something on Switch, that's not happening. I really don't think Doomslayer is gonna be a character. I really don't think Ryu Hubasa from Ninja Gaiden is gonna be a character. I don't think those are final character slots. Maybe Doom, but I also don't think that's really what people want. You'll see Doom maybe be a fucking Mii costume. You know what I mean? But yeah, I don't know. I think Fortnite is probably gonna end up being it. In my opinion, that's where I'm at. Or Sora, I guess.
No.
I don't see Sora coming.
Yeah, I don't see either of those coming.
My thing with
Unless
Sora.
Kingdom Hearts is getting ported to.
Well, that's supposedly a rumor too, but it doesn't even need to happen because there's been Kingdom Hearts games on Nintendo platforms.
Yeah, and Sora's already a Mii fighter, so obviously they're not too worried about that.
Sora's not a Mii fighter.
Who did they add recently? Wasn't
Not
there a Kingdom
Sora.
Hearts character they add?
No, they did
Who
not.
they add?
And that is the so here's the thing, and this is where my brain is at when it comes to Sora. They have at this point, as of Sephiroth, either added all of the most requested characters or made them Mii fighters. So when they added Sephiroth was the last character, right?
No, Kazuya.
Sorry, so then when they added Kazuya, it must have been then. They added a Dante Mii fighter, a Lloyd Irving Mii fighter, and I think another highly requested character. So at this point, all of the highly requested characters have been added to the game in some form, whether it's a Mii fighter or a spirit board or fucking, they're an assist trophy or they're actually in the game. When they did Sephiroth, that would have been the place to make Sora a Mii fighter. It's a Square Enix character coming. Here's another Square Enix character as a thing. Maybe they don't add music, whatever, but they just add the Mii fighter. They didn't do that. So that makes me think that maybe that character's on the table still somewhere. Is it happening? I don't know. But I think it's still a possibility. enough people want that character. Sora makes the top of the list for the fan vote-ins for like who they want to see come to Smash. In like 3 of the regions, Sora is number 1. I think in Japan, actually no, I don't think Sora is number 1 in Japan. I think in the U.S.
number 1 in Japan. Sora's U.S.
and Britain is U.S. or Europe is U.S. Sora.
Yep.
So, I mean, he's a highly requested character. I think him not getting a Mii Fighter spot at this point makes me think it's possible.
That's what I hope they get. I'll be mad.
I guess my question to you is, what is his move set?
How
do you do a Sora without having Donald and Goofy?
I mean, Sora can still cast magic and stuff, and he has a melee weapon. I think it's just built around that.
I guess. Then what's his final smash?
That's where I don't think they bring Disney characters there, but you never know.
It seems tough to me to build a Sora who is a Disney character. Like, Disney owns part of Sora.
Yeah.
So I don't know how you make him without also including other Disney properties.
I mean, it's not to say that they can't have them be on the stage or have them be part of the final smash. I mean,
that's a licensing nightmare.
I mean, Disney does license stuff like this out, and I mean, look at the Afternoon collection being made. That's like a thing that you don't even expect to ever exist again. You know what I mean? Like them putting out like DuckTales again and Lion King and Aladdin. Like those are being licensed to Digital Eclipse. Like those are being licensed to a small company.
Yeah, but they're already made things.
Yeah, but I mean, you still have to renew licenses. They're being ported and fixed up by Digital Eclipse, but they weren't made by Digital Eclipse. They were made by Capcom, so Capcom probably has to also get a cut of something. So like that probably makes it even more complicated because you have Disney, Digital Eclipse, Capcom, and I think the Lion King game was maybe made by Acclaim or actually Virgin Studios, which doesn't even exist. I don't think so.
Virgin Studios. Yeah.
Again, that legal side of it, who knows? But I don't know. I'm excited no matter what to see. I like Smash Directs. I like seeing trailers. The trailers are always good, even if the character is not someone I care about. They're still fun and cool. So
I can't wait to laugh when it's a Fire Emblem character.
Hope so. I'm so down for something like that. I want it to be something like that. If it's not Waluigi, then please just do another one of those.
Todd loves the troll moves. He's all about it.
I will say one more thing too about this direct that I completely forgot about is I'm so excited for Shadowrun trilogy to come. I don't know if you guys ever played that. I played that on the Super NES. I have so many fond memories of the first one that like I'm pumped for that game to come out.
Is that the game that we played on 360?
It's a version of it, but it's not.
Oh.
This is more of like an RPG where you kind of control the fighting a little bit. But dude, I have some memories of the first one playing that on the Super NES, and that game is so good.
Yeah, and then
it was so not my style of game.
Other things were shown off and announced. The other notable things, we got some more details on Splatoon 3, which I don't know if you want to say anything about that, Mike.
No, it'll be good.
Listen, I can't wait for Splatoon 3, but I don't understand what they're doing with that series because it's all the same shit every fucking time. It's like I love it. I'll play the shit out of it, and I'll buy the new one, and I will enjoy the hell out of it. I just wish they had a better multiplayer, but all those games, like it looks like they don't go off the beaten path of anything on that. They're like, yeah, everything's the same.
I mean, I would argue that that whole game is off the beaten path.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like they're doing their own thing with that series.
Yeah, no, I don't feel like they're doing anything different though.
Yeah.
Like Splatoon 1 and 2 are.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess there's some stuff different. This is already they're showing way more different things. Like there's like vehicles and stuff. Like there's different things. I mean, regardless, I like Splatoon, so like I don't need to see more of it. I'm gonna play it when it comes out.
No, I mean, yeah, like I said, I wish that game. I wish we could play and talk and communicate better with that game.
Yeah, there's been rumors that they're gonna redo the Nintendo Online infrastructure next year, and it's supposed to launch alongside Splatoon 3. So who knows? Maybe they do fix it. Bayonetta 3 got a new trailer, which I want to like Bayonetta 3, or I just want to care about Bayonetta. I need to play the old games and see if I changes my brain about them, but I just don't have an interest in those games.
I'm with you. I mean, and I like those style of games, but I don't know why I haven't ever dived into them.
I was really confused, I'm not gonna lie, when they ended the show with that, and the beginning of it was like military people running around. I'm like, what the fuck game is this? Like, what game is this like military shooter that they're ending a direct on? And then as soon as like a giant creature came out, I was like, this has to be Bayonetta. Like, I don't know what else this would be. And then I think that was it for the highlights. Oh, I guess, and then Animal Crossing, an announcement of an Animal Crossing Direct next month. So Todd's prayers have been answered.
Loved it like that. Like I don't give a shit about the coffee shop. I just was like trying to make a point that like there was all this stuff in the previous game that they could have just brought over. But I just think it's funny that that's the one thing they left it on. You just go into the coffee
I know.
shop, and I'm like, I was dying laughing.
They kept listening to the show, and they're like, Todd really wants the coffee shop. Let's bring it back. I mean, I think the fact that it's like, hey, we're teasing this, and there's going to be a full direct means they're going to add like a lot of things to the game.
I hope.
If they're only adding like a little stuff, they're gonna have a very unhappy fan base, I think.
Yeah, I put it back on recently because we were talking about it. I'm like, you know what, fuck it, I'm just gonna jump back in. I'm gonna try to do this, and I played for like a half hour, and I'm like, all right, and I haven't touched it since. But like, I do want to get back to it. But
it's funny you say that because I also like the other night I was like, fuck, I kind of want to just turn on my island and fuck around. But at this point, I might just wait and see. Like, November's not that far away. I'd rather just wait and then, whatever they're going to add, kind of go from there. So the last thing of note was out of nowhere. Didn't expect this. When Miyamoto came out and started talking about the movie, I was like, oh, shit. Like, they're going to give us a trailer right now? I was so fucking pumped. I was like, yes, I want to see what this fucking movie looks like. Whatever. I need to pull up the full cast list because I...
people's reactions is the best part of this. Like watching people across the boards reacting to this, and everyone just hysterically laughing.
So
as the list goes on and on and on, and nothing beats Chris Pratt will be playing Mario. He's so cool. it's like so ridiculous.
So we got, in my opinion, like a bonkers. I did not expect this to be the fucking cast for this movie. Chris Pratt as Mario, Anya Taylor-Joy as Peach, Charlie Day as Luigi, Jack Black as Bowser, Keegan-Michael Key as Toad, Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong, Charles Martinet, thankfully he's at least involved, is going to be various voices, Kevin Michael Richardson as Kamek, Fred Armisen as Cranky Kong, and Sebastian Maniscalco as Spike.
Fred Armisen is like the sleeper hit of that entire cast list. I hope Cranky's a big part of that movie because I think that is like... That's the one right there.
The thing that... So, like, I'm all for this whole cast. Kevin Michael Richardson.
I know him. I'm just trying to think about...
I don't know why I don't know him. Where's he from?
I know him as a voice actor. So, like, I've heard his voice before, but
I don't know that person, and I don't think I know Sebastian Maniscalco.
Maniscalco?
Yeah.
He's a comedian.
I don't know if I know who he is or not.
He does stand up.
So the only thing here that like I think is just such a like these are certainly definitely choices, and maybe argue bizarre picks, but I think that they all work except for
Hibbert.
Huh?
That's who he's Dr. Hibbert from Simpsons.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
He's also in Invincible as he's the Mauler twins in Invincible. He's pretty much across. He's just American Dad. He is Principal Lewis and Billy.
Principal Lewis,
He's strictly like voice acting.
The thing with all of these is that like I am all for Charlie putting his spin on Luigi because Luigi doesn't talk a lot in the games already. Like most of these characters don't really say anything in any of the games, huh? Yeah.
He says "Hey, bro" a lot.
Like Mario is the only character in the games that has like significant voice lines already, and he's an icon. Like a lot of these are iconic characters, but like he's fucking Mario. So like I just cannot picture. Chris Pratt has other non-movie related baggage around him, which is why again interesting choice. But also just like I just can't picture him doing a voice that makes sense for Mario. It is breaking my brain.
I'm not a Chris Pratt fan. I will say that like. I don't know. I feel like he hasn't done really many good movies minus Guardians, but I will say this: he's in one of the best cartoon movies. I was just gonna say he's in one of the best cartoon movies I've ever seen, which is the Lego Movie.
Yeah,
So
but
that makes me
but
like a little less worried about everything.
I'm not
And,
saying he's not a
like,
good voice actor. I'm saying
He's
He's
not gonna
Mario.
Sound like he's not gonna sound like a Italian plumber from New York.
well, I think someone said he's gonna. I read something today that he's gonna be trying to do an Italian accent. So it's not like he's gonna be like.
That's gonna be so bad.
I
would
know.
rather him just be Chris Pratt.
yeah, it's very interesting. Like I'm very curious to like hear how some of these people talk like these people. Like Todd sent that video of like the Donkey Kong cartoon with Seth Rogen laughing. I have watched that video so many times.
Oh my god. Seth Rogen is another amazing cast. I don't care. Like I know a lot of people hate are annoyed by him.
No,
or
that's
whatever.
a
He just
great
cracks me up.
casting.
Yeah.
If
Oh my God,
if
it's amazing.
Just take the Mario aspect out of this film.
it's
I
so
would go
good.
see this movie. It would be a fucking riot.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think Toad's voice is the best out of it. I was saying this to Amanda today. I think Toad's voice is going to be the best thing. He's going to steal the whole movie. He's going to steal the entire movie.
He is gonna give Toad so much attitude. It's gonna be
Yeah,
so
it's
good.
gonna be so good. It's gonna be so good. It's I think he's gonna be the sleeper hit of the movie. He's gonna be the one that everyone talks about after the movie.
They had you
Who's
just said
Donkey Kong again?
Fred Armisen.
Armisen, yeah. He's
And-
also
That's
gonna be
another
great. Yeah.
Yes, I can't wait for that. Yeah.
Like they definitely are gonna let Seth Rogen laugh in this movie, right? Like he's gonna do his fucking stoner laugh. Like he like you're gonna have Donkey Kong laughing like that, and it's gonna be so good.
Imagine if they didn't make him as Donkey Kong, but they made him as what's the surfer? I forget his
Funky
name.
Kong.
Yeah.
Funky Kong.
I can't wait until
That's
they
a
bring
missed
like
opportunity right there.
I can't wait until like Diddy Kong is actually in the movie and it's like Jonah Hill or something.
Yeah. So, looking at this cast list, like, is there anyone that I guess we'd all probably change Chris Pratt, but like, is there anyone that you would rather change, or anyone you want to get added as a character that's not in the movie, like Wario or Waluigi, whatever?
I want Danny DeVito to be Mario. I wish that was the case. I wish they went like something crazy like that. Just put Danny DeVito as it. But yeah, I don't know. I'm
do
sure there's gonna be more
Wario
characters.
shows up.
Who?
Wario.
Who would you want to voice Wario?
I don't know. If Chris Pratt is the Mario, I don't know.
One of the other Chris's can be Wario.
Huh?
So one of the other Chris's can be Wario.
Yeah, I kind of want Waluigi in there as Willem Dafoe.
Yeah, you see, when you say like who would you cast for somebody else, I'm like all the joke ones on Twitter. That's what I would go 100% of the time. Just whatever I see post on Twitter. What did they post for? Who they say Aragonder was going to be? What was that one?
Gino, I think.
Gino.
Yeah, I just be like, yes, do it.
I will say this. I think that like all these voice actors probably fought very hard to get these roles because this could be in a massive. I mean, not like they need it, but like this is like something that like getting in like a Shrek franchise or like a Toy Story franchise. You are like,
this is even bigger than all that. Like this is like
it's going to be like the biggest. It's going to be a massive movie.
It has the potential to be. It also has the potential to be a enormous bomb.
The only thing that I can say about, again, Chris Pratt has some like non-movie related issues about himself that people have issues with, myself included. But when I look at this list and I look specifically at Chris Pratt as Mario, is like Nintendo is so careful about what they do with their stuff, especially with Mario, that like I would imagine that the auditioning sessions for all of these things were intense to meet Nintendo standards, and it wasn't just like these are all popular actors that are going to bring people into this movie because it's full stop. People are coming to this movie no matter what. It's fucking Mario. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I don't think anyone auditioned for this stuff.
No, are you kidding me?
Yeah,
You're telling me that Nintendo didn't sit down and think who can do Mario, and we need to make sure it is done correctly.
Sure, but I am saying like with the level of talent they got, you think these people, you think like these A-list actors that are getting roles without Nintendo or not are going to go in there and just, hey, we have to try out for your movie. We
Yes, I'm
Anna Taylor-Joy, you think she like Like,
yes,
I think
I'm gonna sit here and say that these actors had to like prove that they could be these. You don't think so, Dom?
I don't think
No,
so at
I
all.
think they probably came up with a top 3, and they sent I mean, they probably came up with a top 3, sent the script to like the top 3, and said, "Can you send us back like your take on this?" And that was the audition process.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like
I still feel.
I don't think it was any extensive thing for Chris Pratt, who is in. He's probably in 3 of the top 5 films of all time at this point, like top
This is
grossing
crazy,
films.
Marvel.
And Jurassic World probably made a ton of money.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's another one coming out.
So maybe the process wasn't extensive in that regard, where it's like, hey, here's a long session of me doing VO. But I do think that this was like a carefully critiqued, and maybe your thing is correct. Maybe they sent it to
They probably
their
just came up with
an ideal list of who they'd want to see and sent it to those people and said, send us back a sample of this. Which, again, I would argue that they probably had good choices for all of these characters, being what the property is, and you know, they have faith that Chris Pratt is gonna like represent Mario in a positive way. Because again, this is like we're not talking about Shrek. We're not talking about Toy Story. We're talking about Mickey Mouse. We're talking about Mario. You know what I mean? We're talking about like the top thing. Like
Talking about practice.
yeah.
Who is making this movie?
Illumination, the Despicable Me team.
Despicable Me movies,
Yeah.
Which I will say they're good. I enjoyed all of them. So.
But the other thing is that Nintendo's heavily involved. Miyamoto is heavily involved. Like, I'm pretty sure Miyamoto is almost primarily working on this and the theme parks currently. Like, I don't think he's really working on games. He's just doing overseeing these 2 projects. I'm sure he's still poking into the game side of things too. But even on the game side of things, he hasn't been like a developer in a long time. I believe his title at Nintendo right now is Creative Fellow. He basically just is like, goes into places and poses. From what I've read in interviews, he'll go into like the studio that's working on this game, Metro, whatever, and he'll pose situations or ideas and basically be like, try to do this or make this work or whatever, and kind of just like stoke the creativity and move things forward. I don't think he's really an executive producer on many things anymore, because I don't think he's that involved. He's just more of like a overall creative direction of things, and not necessarily like, you know, what Sakurai is to Smash or what. I believe I think the person in charge of Mario games right now his name is Koizumi, I believe. I'm pretty sure it's the person that was hosting the Nintendo Direct, is the person that's currently like is in charge of Mario. It's like the current Mario lead. Anyways, I don't know. That's where we're at.
Here's my question or thought, because someone else I was speaking with kind of mentioned this. Given the way Nintendo is very, very protective of their property, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm sure they had a very bad experience with that old Mario film, which is why they've kind of ignored it or never tried it again for, some 30 odd years. And given the cast, do you think they're trying to make a comedy? Or even if they're trying to make a comedy, do you think that Nintendo
Are you looking at that cast and thinking that it's not going to be a comedy?
No, what I'm saying is looking at that cast, but given Nintendo's protectiveness of the IP, do you think they would allow a comedy that you would expect from that cast?
Yeah, I think they're going. I feel like
I'm phrasing it poorly, but I feel as though Nintendo might not, if they have as much control as you would think they would have, that they wouldn't play it Lego movie levels of kind of slapstick comedy.
So are you so just real quick, I just want to theorize some what you're so we know Chris Pratt is big on like ad-libbing.
Yes.
We know that Charlie Day is big on ad-libbing. A lot of that show is also like It's Always Sunny. A lot of it is ad-libbed. We know that Jack Black is the same way. Like he is like playing off whatever the situation is. Is that what you're saying? Like, are you gonna give these like their like a lot of their comedic genius is like that they just play off whatever situation that they're in? Is that what you're saying? Like, are you going to give these actors that are known for this that freedom?
More or less. Like I wonder if, because between, again, how protective they are with their property, and then, for instance, this is a poor reference, especially because I think it only makes sense to me. For instance, I believe it was one of the Evangelion films that came out. There was a whole rigmarole about one of the recent Evangelion films coming out because they had translated it a certain way, and like it was a decent translation, like it worked, but like the studio behind it in Japan were like, no, we don't like what you did with this, and they had to like rework it, and that's why it took so long for it to come out. Blah 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 blah. So I'm wondering is it possible that Nintendo might meddle with it so much that even though they've got all these comedic geniuses involved in the film and they can make it like a fun, entertaining film, that they might stifle that kind of creativity to the point where it comes out like stifled.
Mediocre.
Mike,
I don't think they will.
Yeah,
I
I think there's like you're gonna have so many takes of this stuff, and all these dudes are gonna fuck around the way they want to fuck around and push the limit where they can push it. And if the people sitting there listening to it think it is good, I can see them, playing around with certain stuff. I think like, you have to also look at like, you don't think that like someone like Chris Pratt's fucking around in all the Marvel movies and like maybe they change stuff, but then also they're like, all right, that actually can't be in these fucking movies. Like, yeah, I'm sure that Marvel Disney is also sort of similar in regards to like controlling how much some of these actors are riffing and like altering things.
And I think there might also be a cultural element to it too.
So the thing that is worth considering is that there are separate voice casts for the Japanese version of the movie. So like,
as much, yeah.
Could there be differences in the dialogue between the two? Maybe, to make them make sense for the different parts of the world. I don't know.
Yeah,
I think Guardians is a bad example to compare this to, just real quick, because Guardians was a cast of no-name characters that they were just trying to make a movie on.
Fair
so
enough.
They probably allowed them a lot more freedom than Mario.
Yeah, no, and I get that.
But also, it's Illumination making the movie, and Illumination's made Despicable Me, and that was Steve Carell. So I imagine that they're probably used to a lot of like, all right, we're gonna film this like a few different ways, and then we're gonna let Steve do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
So
I also want to point out that Detective Pikachu definitely had jokes that I was surprised were in the movie, seeing as how it's A, Pokemon, and B, Nintendo. Like there were
who made that one?
Warner Brothers.
Who did make? Oh yeah.
But there was at least like one or two drug jokes in the movie, and I was very surprised that those were in the movie. And that's another one. That's Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds was probably riffing and fucking saying whatever the fuck he wanted to.
I mean, the other problem becomes that regardless, you're going to be limiting what comes out of these actors' mouths.
Oh, of course.
Because it's going to be a G-rated movie.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
No way. I think you guys are. It's definitely PG-13 R. There's no way they're not gonna fucking.
But yeah, I don't know.
I guess it could be PG. I guess it could be PG.
The thing.
PG is probably the highest. Yeah.
Not 13. I couldn't see PG-13. But the other thing that is interesting to me is, especially if this movie is like this movie is going to be a success no matter what, because of what it is, and because of all of these names.
That's necessarily the case, but I mean, it has the potential to be a giant.
Listen, sure, but it's not going to be, Can it be? Sure, anything can be bad, sure, but it's not going to be. Like, it's not. It is gonna sell well regardless, because it is a Mario movie coming out the week of Christmas next year. So like,
Honestly, I think
it's not. Is it going to theaters?
it's pretty sure it's like December 21st of next year.
It's Netflix though. Is it going to theaters?
Is it Netflix?
I'm pretty sure it's a.
I thought it was Netflix.
No, I'm pretty
No,
sure
it's
this is
not.
a theatrical
Yeah,
release.
it's like
Is it?
it's like right before Christmas. Yeah.
Yeah. My question is, if this is like a monster, crazy, bananas success, will we see more movies? Probably. But will we then see like Chris Pratt is Mario in the video games? Like, will we see these
No,
actors
I
be
don't
the video game versions? I fucking hope not. Unless they're just amazing.
Yeah, I don't see that happening unless they feel like spending that kind of money on them, like for future
Yeah.
video games. I feel like the budget doesn't
Justify that.
allow that.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't know. We'll see. I mean, it's a movie for kids, but this cast was very surprising to me.
The cast was surprising, and what ended up happening was every single time they said, "This guy's playing this person," I'd be like, "Oh, that's crazy," and then they did that for 12
It
other
just kept
times.
on
Yeah.
I was
going.
like, how are you still doing this?
Yeah.
Oh,
You
shit.
still have more characters.
I also didn't realize that the directors are the guys that made Teen Titans Go.
Oh yes, we talked about that. Yeah. So that's huge because
Oh,
Teen
that's
Titans
crazy.
Go's movie is so good.
Yeah.
It's really good.
I really think the only thing, like, again, could it just be like an average kid movie? Sure. But like, I really think the only thing that could really hurt this movie the most is if the performances were bad.
I don't think they're gonna mess this movie up. I personally.
I don't think I agree with you. I think the reason why this movie has been being made for so long is because
Yeah.
they
they're taking their time
need
with it,
to
they're
make
gonna
sure
do
that
it
this
right.
is right.
Yep.
Especially
Yeah.
not only that, like, especially I think there's probably some added pressure and pride seeing that the Sonic movie did so well. If they put out a Mario movie and it doesn't do as well or better than that, I
This
think
is
that'll
huge
be a
for
problem for
Illumination,
them.
too.
Oh,
This
yeah,
like
it
a
is.
huge- That's what I'm saying. Like this is like they're already like they haven't really done much. They've been pretty quiet over the last couple of years, and like I think this is something that's they're putting all their time and effort into this movie. They're not
Oh.
messing around. There's no way,
Yeah.
because this is gonna like take them to a new stratosphere. It'll be like the new, DreamWorks or whatever the hell. Like,
I feel like they're still. I mean, I feel like Despicable Me kind of put them on the map as a big thing because they've made other
Yeah,
movies. I
it's
just don't know
everything.
what movies they are. But
they did like the Minion movies, and I don't think those movies were as successful as Despicable Me. But like, yeah, I don't know.
they had to have made something other animated movies after that, right? No.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm sure they did. Sing, I think Sing was like their other thing, right?
Did that?
Thing they've
That movie-
done the new Grinch movie with Benedict Cumberbatch was them, right?
I don't know.
Maybe.
Benedict Cumberbatch played the Grinch.
Secret Life of Pets.
Did
Oh, yeah.
did Doctor Strange play the Grinch?
Yes.
Yeah,
What? I don't think I knew about that
I
movie.
feel like that movie didn't do well.
Oh, Danny DeVito Lorax was also them.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I'm excited. I think it'll be a good time. I do think it will be a smash. Like I'm.
Yeah, same.
I
don't
mean,
think
I
this
feel
movie's-
better. I feel better about it knowing that the guys that made Teen Titans Go are doing it.
I'm
Was it Adam with
curious.
Sonic showing up, played by Ben Schwartz, saying, "I'm here to tell you about Smash."
The Smash Initiative.
Imagine this all worked up to that in like 20 years. It was like they started making like fucking Smash movies. Oh man. Anyways, that's a good time to wrap it up because we went way over arguing about movies. Thank you all so much for listening to this week's episode 278 of the Pass the Controller podcast. If you're a friend of the show, fan of the show, want to help support the show, you can do that in a few different ways. You can go to passthecontroller.threadless.com, get yourself some sick swag. Go to patreon.com/passthecontroller, become a patron. Or if you don't have any bucks kicking around, you can still support us by following us on social media, sharing the podcast on social media so your friends and family can check it out and join us on this journey of talking about nonsense, and leaving us a review on Apple Podcasts. All those things are very, very much appreciated, and we appreciate you taking the time to listen and support us in any way you can. If you want to keep the conversation with us in our community, you can do that by going to our Discord server or following us on social media at PassController, or you can follow me at BigRoom. You can follow Mike at _MikeOpath. You can follow Todd at Toddy_by_nature, and you can follow Dom at PTC_1little_spark. And thank you all so much for listening to this week's episode 278. Until next time.